Hey, welcome back, girls, bars. Alright, if you're new here, my name is Aries. I am your online BFF for today. Okay, so if you're not new here, if you're my return subscribers, my return viewers, welcome back, girls. Girls, boys. There's boys as well. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. So today we're gonna talk about we are being lost. Okay. Sometimes, because sometimes we feel like we don't belong anywhere, and I feel it too. Do you guys have that kind of feelings before? Like have you ever been surrounded by people? Like, for example, classmates, co-workers, even friends, and still felt like you felt like you didn't belong among them, like you're there but not really part of it. If that feeling has been sitting with you lately, this is for you. All right, this is for you. Okay, so because what if the problem isn't that you don't belong anywhere? Right? That is not a problem. What if you have just been trying to belong in places that were never meant to you? It is not loud. Okay, it doesn't always look like a loneliness, but you still show up, you still talk to them, you still laugh when you're supposed to. Okay, but something feels off. Like there is a disconnections in the relationships, friendships, and whatever is it. And over time, that quiet feeling turns into a heavier thoughts that why don't I fit anywhere? Why I don't align with them? Why I don't feel that the topics that they are talking about is not interesting enough. Or let's say if you're in a group of circle of friends that like to gossip around, and you don't like to gossip, you're that type of person that you're peaceful, someone who is very respectful to people, but the people that are around you likes to gossip about people. It's not good, isn't it? Because for me, I am that kind of person that don't really like to talk about people. And sometimes when we are in a single group of friends, some of them influence us in complaining, gossiping about people and all. So actually that's kind of bad for real, because I don't feel like I can associate, and I don't think that is what we are supposed to do. So for example, if you're at school, right, you're sitting in the class, people around you talking, joking, forming groups, making plans together, excluding you maybe, and you're there but not really included. I think I am much more worse than that, because I remember during my high school time and my primary time, I was basically excluded and I got isolated. And the worst part is I got bullied back then, which is especially when I was in primary. Like, it was not loud, right? The bully is it's a kind of verbal bully, and it's like mental bullying, that kind. Or was that an insect? There is this insect. Okay, wait, what? Okay, never mind. Okay, there's no insect in my room. Okay, I hit it and I kill it, and I will bury the insect. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. Continue. So, even when you join in the conversations, I'm pretty sure that it feels like forced. Like being forced. Like you're trying to match their energy. But it doesn't come naturally. You just go quiet and just like, not because you have nothing to say, but because it feels easier than trying. I get that, because I used to do that. So here's something most people won't tell you, because you might feel like you don't belong because you are not being fully yourself. So it's okay. All right. Okay, so you adjust different version of you for different people. At school, one version, with friends, another, at work, another. So you filter your opinions. You hold back certain thoughts that you have. You laugh at the things that you don't even find it funny. Not because that you're fake, okay? But because you are trying to be acceptable, alright? So I give you another scenarios. A friends group, So you're with your friends. They're talking about something that you don't really relate to, and you just nod and listen. And you don't talk a lot, like you smile and you play along, but inside you feel like disconnected because the topic that they are talking doesn't align with you. And sometimes you leave those hangouts feeling more alone than when you arrive. Okay, so you can't feel like you belong anywhere. You are constantly editing yourself. Okay, so a lot of people, oh my god, look at the inside. Oh shoot, go away, go. Okay, never mind. A lot of people chase belonging, like it is something they need to earn. If I act right, they will accept me. If I fit in, I will finally feel okay, But the real belonging doesn't come from effort like that. Like it comes from alignment, alignment. Share values, share energy, share understanding. Sorry, there's a noise. Okay? Like someone just knocked on my door. Sorry for that. Okay? So when I mentioned that whenever your friends, maybe your colleague, or someone that they try to start a conversation, they try to join in the conversation, and it doesn't feel good, or it doesn't feel like, you're kind of disconnected because there's no alignment there, because there's no shared value, there's no shared energy, and there's no shared understanding. All right. And if you feel out of place everywhere, it might mean that you're forcing yourself into the spaces that don't even match your energy. So it's not your fault. Okay, so not fitting in isn't always rejection. Okay, it is not. Sometimes it is a redirection. All right. So growth is quiet. We know that. All of us know that. We plant the seeds, and it grows quietly. Don't you think that it's quiet? The growing phase is always quiet and silent, and no one applauding you. All right. So you don't always notice it happening, but one day things that used to feel normal, don't. Okay, remember that growth is quiet, and you don't always see it happening right in front of you, because whenever you feel like one day things that used to feel normal, like conversations with your friends maybe, and then with your coworkers, whoever it is, your siblings, it doesn't feel right, it means that you're growing. You grow. Okay, so I'll give you another example. You're at work, conversations feels like a surface level, you don't connect with the environment, you do your job, and that's it. You're not excited, you are not engaged, you're just present, and you start questioning, is it me, or is this just not for me? So instead of exploring that feeling, you ignore it, because living is uncertain. You changing job, it's uncertain, changing is uncomfortable, so you stay at the workplace. Wait, let me pause. Okay, continue. We're gonna continue. All right. Okay, so you stay, and slowly that feeling of not belonging grows everywhere, grows stronger. First I want you to remember, you are not lost. You are not a lost puppy. You are not a lost kitten. You're just in the environments that don't reflect who you are becoming. Okay, so when you find the right people, sometimes it feels different. Remember, you don't overthink every single word that you speak. You don't feel like you have to perform. You can pause in every conversations without feeling awkward, you know? You can be quiet without feeling invincible. You can be yourself without questioning it. So belonging doesn't feel like a pressure, okay? It feels like relief. A relief, you know? The feeling of relief to hang out with the people around you. So you don't need to fit in everywhere. Remember that. You don't need everyone to understand you. And you don't need to shrink yourself just to feel included. Okay? So instead of asking, why don't I belong here? Why don't I can't engage with them? Start asking, where do I feel the most like myself? Where? Who are they? Where? So people need to remember that, okay? Because that is your directions. Okay, if you have been feeling like you don't belong anywhere, maybe that's not your final answer. Maybe it's just a phase between who you were and where you actually fit. Okay, so and maybe right now your job isn't to force belongings. It is to stop hiding who you are, the real you. Right? If this felt a little too real, right? Don't ignore that feeling. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore. So sometimes feeling out of place is what leads you to the place that you actually belong. Yeah. Yep. So I guess that's it for today's video. And hopefully you guys have a great day ahead today. Okay? Yeah. Thank you for watching until the end. Bye bye.